Leoda Bradshaw, co-accused to return to court October 8. Leoda Bradshaw and 3 others implicated in the murder of politician Philip Oswald's 10-month-old daughter and her mother were on Thursday further remanded until October 8, 2025. The accused appeared remotely in Home Circuit Court of the Supreme Court for a plea and case management hearing. Bradshaw, a U.S. Navy officer who shares a child with Powell, is charged along with her cousin, Roland Balford, allegedly triggerman David Smith, and John Black. Justice Graham Allen is presiding over the matter. The prosecution told the court that they were not yet in a position to fix a trial date, as some materials are not yet uploaded to the defense to review. The court was further told that the adjournment was to facilitate the uploading of the settled witness list. This is to be done on or before June 9, 2025. The indictment with charges on which the prosecution intends to proceed as trial is to be settled by June 9 and uploaded as well. Bradshaw is charged with 2 counts each of capital murder, conspiracy to murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy to kidnapping. Balford is charged with 2 counts each of accessory before the fact to kidnap and accessory before the fact to murder. Black is charged with 2 counts each of murder, kidnapping, conspiracy to murder, and conspiracy to kidnapping. He is also facing additional firearm charges, such as possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and dealing in prohibited weapon. Meanwhile, Smith is charged with 2 counts each of capital murder, conspiracy to murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy kidnapping. The other 2 men, Richard Brown and Washington Miller, previously pleaded guilty to crimes related to the incident and were both sentenced. The 10-month-old child and her mother, 27, were reportedly abducted from their home in Gilmore Drive in St. Andrew on September 9, 2023. They were allegedly taken to East Kingston, shot and killed, and their bodies burned. Bradshaw, the alleged mastermind, is accused of contacting hitmen, contracting her cousin Balford, and orchestrating a plan to kidnap and murder the mother and child. She reportedly traveled to Jamaica with the sole purpose of murdering Oswald's infant daughter and her mother. This occurred one day after she had confronted Patterson about the infant on Facebook. Bradshaw is being represented by attorneys Deborah Martin and Kelly Hamilton. Attorneys Tamika Harris and Sasha K. Shaw are defending Bojan Black, while attorneys Franklin and Shamar Hansen are representing Smith. Attorneys Michael Howell and Vanessa Taylor are appearing for Balfour. Man's partially eaten body found in St. Catherine. The Spanish Town Police in St. Catherine are investigating the death of a man whose body was discovered near a housing development in the parish on Wednesday. The decomposing body was observed on its back, clad in a blue shirt and a pair of grey shorts. The arm and legs appeared to have been eaten by stray animals. Reports were that about 12:10 p.m., a resident was disposing of garbage in bushes at Silver Meadows Phase 3 when the discovery was made. The police were summoned and the scene examined before the body was removed for post-mortem examination. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch is probing the matter. Foreign Affairs Minister assures Jamaicans' international reputation is sound and highly positive. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, has assured that Jamaica's international reputation is sound and highly positive. She was reacting to comments made by opposition counterpart Dr. Angela Brown-Burke about potential adverse effects due to the appointment of Dennis as Chief Technical Director of Financial Investigations Division Fed. In her sectoral debate presentation, Dr. Brown-Burke had argued that the government's disregard of transparency, accountability, and institutional integrity is pushing Jamaica towards a financial and diplomatic crisis. Citing recent alleged breaches, Dr. Brown-Burke accused the government of placing the country's global credibility at risk and undermining critical anti-corruption safeguards. In a statement, Senator Johnson-Smith stated that the irresponsibility of the opposition People's National Party is putting Jamaica's reputation at risk. The minister described the PNP's approach as reckless. Johnson-Smith said recent efforts by the opposition to impoverish the reputation of Jamaica's anti-money laundering and counterterrorism financial systems and framework are indicative of their inability to demonstrate readiness to lead and represent a country.
We have learned as well that the government has compounded this breach of good governance by appointing someone who is both unqualified and tainted with implicit bias to head the Financial Investigations Division. A statement of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, in a rare moment of candor, issued a sober warning to the Senate last year. And here I quote, "If Jamaica is blacklisted by FATF, it will be catastrophic. We will be treated like a high-risk jurisdiction. Financial institutions would sever ties. Correspondent banking could be lost. We would struggle to do international business. Our citizens would be the ones to suffer." End of quote. Madam Speaker, it is that catastrophe that we believe is a real and present danger. And it's not being caused by war or natural disaster or economic collapse. It is being caused by recklessness and arrogance, we believe, of this administration.
The only things putting Jamaica's reputation at risk at this time are the PNP's irresponsible utterances and their attempts to bring them to international attention. The PNP has again demonstrated that they are willing to tarnish Jamaica's reputation if they believe it will get them closer to the seat of government. This is not only deeply unpatriotic, but it's entirely counterintuitive for someone who is seeking to present themselves as an alternative representative of the country's interests overseas. FATF is concerned with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing systems and frameworks. So their utterances are more than ironic because it is the JLP-led government that inherited and addressed the problems identified by FATF when they reviewed Jamaica's systems in 2015. It's those findings that led to Jamaica's ultimate listing in 2020, and it is those matters which we fixed to get us off the list in 2024. The recklessness of the PNP really shouldn't escape the Jamaican people, given the very hard work of the government across ministries, departments, and agencies to fix the problems that they left. Systemic problems, difficult problems. And in fact, their most recent efforts to impugn at the same time the reputations of our robust AML CFT systems, our strong and independent Offices of Services Commission, and one of the most well-qualified and unbiased persons to offer themselves for public service across administrations. That must be seen as some kind of trifecta, some political record in terms of the depths to which they will sink and their inability to demonstrate readiness to lead and represent a country.
Portmore hairdresser charged with misprision of felony. A woman has been charged with misprision of a felony and accessory after the fact following an incident in Portmore, St. Catherine on Wednesday, May 28. She's been identified as 19-year-old Jada Anderson, a hairdresser of Dolphin Way, Portmore, St. Catherine. Reports from the Portmore police are that Anderson became aware of a crime that was committed by her partner, but instead of making a report to the police, she assisted in hiding him and preventing him from being arrested. She was taken into custody on Tuesday, June 7, during a search for the man and was subsequently charged. A court date is being arranged for her. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.